Welcome to the Shift Talkers podcast.
In nomine Patris Spiritus Sancti. Anyway, so as I was
saying, I mean, I was telling the Dark Lord, and I was telling her before you came over, I wanted to be a youth pastor. Yeah. So if you need to exorcise the demons.
I've got
demon.
I've got some sage over there.
Okay, now you're taking the native. Well, you know, I'm kind of an expert myself. So.
No, we can light it up anytime. All right, you guys, let's do this. Elijah.
Oh my god.
Elijah.
Oh my god.
Is Delilah? Is that show nationwide?
Yes.
Do you guys know? Okay, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Our guest today is Elijah.
Oh my god.
Yes. Hi, Elijah. How are you today?
My cheeks are getting red.
Welcome to the Shift Talkers. We are glad to have you. And guess who's back? Guess who's back?
It's me.
It's Abelis. Yay! Gosh, it's been a while since
been a minute.
we've done a podcast
Life's been
with
happening
you here. So,
in a hurry.
yes, I'm so glad you're here. And also her little lovely Leslie. Oh, I like that name. Little lovely Leslie.
Little lovely Leslie.
She's over there hanging out on the couch.
Laughing
so
at us.
we're going to try not to be too dirty.
Yeah. I love it when people like apologize for cursing in front of my children. I'm like, they are my kids.
I know. You know what?
So that's sweet. But like, you don't really need to worry too much about that.
Sometimes I shock myself, and especially if there's a kid in the room, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
I forget that other parents aren't casual about it. And then I'm like, oh
Yes.
shit, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I mean, gosh darn.
So, Elijah,
Yes.
I've been wanting to. How old are you?
I am 23, going on 24.
23. Oh,
Are you 23 and a half?
23 and a half.
Yes.
ma'am.
That's so
I'm
cute.
adorable.
You are adorable. You guys, Elijah's adorable. This is the first time I've actually seen him without his mask.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm totally serious.
That's right. You never worked with him.
No, I work with him now.
At the place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So, little backstory real quick. Elijah and Arelis worked together at the barbecue place that we used to all work at. I didn't work there anymore. Then it closed, and they had brought Elijah over to the place that I work now, which was a sister company, and I work with him now, which Arelis doesn't anymore. So,
The Mother Restaurant. Oh yeah, there's a fun story. Let's talk about why I don't work there.
no.
No, Elijah was my kitchen boo. Like we've always said, we've said over and over, you got to have your kitchen boo. Elijah was my kitchen boo. He's like my favorite person. You know, like it was going to be a better shift if he was there.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the
Talk
God's
about me,
honest
girl.
truth.
Talk about me.
Well, it's I swear, and you know it did it because like at first you were just you come in, you do your job, like you learned really quickly, and but you kind of kept to yourself, you're quiet, and then you started with the fucking dad jokes, and that's what did it, and that is where our romance blossomed because I would be in a shit mood, one of those where you just kick the door into the kitchen, you're the police,
Yeah, you've
like,
mentioned him
on a drug
before
raid,
saying that.
just coming in like motherfuckers, just pissed off about who knows what. And I'd get into the kitchen and he'd hit me with a dad joke out of nowhere and it would piss me off even more, but it would make me laugh. I'd be like, fuck you, Elijah. But I was laughing as I walked away.
Elijah, tell us
a
a dad joke.
Dance, puppet boy,
Dance, puppet boy. Oh, wow.
I know I put you on the
You
spot.
put me on the spot.
You can think about it. You can think about it.
Because
Okay.
he collects them. That's the thing. Like, he hit me with a new one each time. And I was like, God, that's awful.
I don't work with Elijah as much as I would like to. We actually, he works nights, I work days, so we just meet in passing. But I am working tomorrow night. Are you working?
I am.
Sweet. I haven't worked a Friday night. You guys, I haven't worked a Friday night in so long.
Get ready.
And I'm so excited.
Are they still keeping like the abbreviated hours, or are they open a little later now?
No, we're open our regular
open
hours
early.
now.
Oh,
We're open
thank
from
God.
7 to 9.
I was
Yeah.
so hungry the other night, and I was
Oh.
like, we could just call the place, but it's 8:00. In Rona times, it's so hard to know.
I know, it really is. It's little by little things are happening, to open back up and stuff. But I haven't worked a Friday night, and Friday nights were my thing. I worked every Friday in the bar when it was open. I mean, I was the server in the bar on Fridays. That was my I think. But it's been years, actually. That used to be my thing. And then I kind of got older. I'm like, this is hard.
I'll do Sunday brunch instead.
Yeah, you know what? I got a sweet-ass schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, I work Sunday through Wednesday or Thursday.
You're way too excited for Friday.
I'm so excited because I don't work with the same crew.
No, see,
you know,
see,
I'm just so, I mean, like, elated.
No, see, here's the thing. You're front of house, I'm back of the house. Totally different environment.
That is
Right.
Totally
true.
different environment.
Yes.
Front of house gets to have fun on a Friday.
We really,
Y'all
yeah.
get to dance around, talk to people and all that while I'm back there sweating my butt
It's
off.
exactly what we do.
Yes.
Dance around and talk to people.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I dance around and talk to people too. But,
Yeah.
you know.
But, you know, you guys, it's, I mean, I could only imagine. I don't want to be back in the kitchen on my own to go do prep and shit, but that kind of pressure, and although servers feel it too,
And
obviously,
it's
but it's an
tight line.
adrenaline.
Like the line, for the size of the building,
Yeah.
that line is really cramped.
It's so small. So, but, you know, I have to say, I have never worked in a kitchen as good as the one we've got there. I've never, ever. Like, it's just, and yeah, it crashes sometimes, occasionally. That's to be expected, but not often. And it's, you know, everybody's just usually on it. Although, like I said, I don't work at night that often. We used to have I've been through a lot of crews over there, but. So tell us about it. Tell us about your typical Friday night. Clock in with us.
Okay,
And
so-
until you clock out.
Typical Friday night, it starts off pretty hectic. You know, of course, you know, we're changing shifts, so you have to get ready for your own shift. The cats in the morning or day crew don't really give a damn about our
nighttime. They're like,
they don't
figure it out.
They don't give a shit. All right, we're just gonna work until you get all your shit together. Then we're out. You know,
Yeah.
take the trash and we're out.
Yeah.
So we get set up with all of our own shit, all of our backups, and you know what we need throughout the night. And
Do you do prep anymore, or
no,
like at this place? Okay.
no, we have our own prep people,
Nice.
which is nice.
That's so nice. Yeah,
I
you
know,
just
right?
have to grab just grab your 8x and
No, but yeah. Once we took over the line, usually, they're still at the tail end of a rush. So we have about maybe 30, 40 minutes of the last of their rush. You know what I mean? So it starts out pretty hectic. And then it kind of simmers down for a while, enough for us to clean up a little bit, reset. For
the old people have had their dinner already.
Yeah.
Between 4 and 6,
Right,
you get your
right.
seniors, and then they go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Don't get me wrong.
Little breather. Recover.
Yeah, like around, I say maybe about 4 o'clock. That's when things really start to get fun, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It gets real fun. All of a
hurry.
sudden. Yeah, all of a sudden, just so easy.
Yeah.
It just progresses throughout the night from like 4 o'clock all the way till maybe 15 minutes before close.
Yeah.
And we just kind of scramble to start cleaning. We throw our backups into the line, just so that way we don't get bitched at in the morning by the morning crew.
Do you kind of like...
I love it. The FOH and the BOH. Or no,
yeah.
not those ones.
Day crew, night crew.
Day crew, night crew.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing battle.
It is.
It's an ongoing battle.
It's like DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just, there's always that competition.
And
there.
it happens in front of the house too. A night shift, day shift.
Yes.
They're always against each other.
I know. I used to look down on like the day crew, and then I've always worked nights in every job anywhere. And then there was that point, like after my first divorce, where I was like, just take whatever shift I can get. And I worked a day. And I was like, guys,
found
I
a whole
am
new
so
respect.
sorry. I had no idea. The eggs, just the fucking
man.
eggs, man. And then don't forget
People
to ask
and
what
their
kind of bread they
eggs.
want. Don't forget how they want to have their eggs. Don't forget to ask red or green. Don't forget. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the coffee.
The coffee.
A good busser.
coffee.
The coffee. A good busser is worth their weight in gold.
Oh, yes.
I tipped out more in the day shifts than I did because I'm a night owl too. So it's not like I'm like, oh well, I have to be at work at 7, so I should try to get to bed early. Fuck no.
Yeah.
There I am at like 2:30 in the morning, still drinking, like drunkenly doing push-ups on my living room floor just to try to get tired enough to go to sleep, and then wake up and have to go work. And people, it's just their expectations for you are so different in the morning. I'm like, all right, so that's something that I learned about myself.
Yes. It
And,
definitely took me a while to learn, how to become that morning person.
Oh, yeah.
And now I just am. But it literally was years, because when I started there, I was only nights.
Yeah.
And that went on for many, many years. But it was so great because, our general manager there has always worked with my schedule, which is why I have a badass schedule now. I have usually I have Thursday, Friday,
But
Saturday
you did
off,
your
you guys.
time, too.
Thursday. I've done my time. I've
Right.
worked Friday nights, Saturday nights for many, many years,
Yeah.
and collected lots and lots of stories about it. So, Elisha, tell us how you got into the restaurant business. Your first job was. Give us your background.
Yeah. So, of course, fresh out of high school, need a job. Looking for a car, need a job.
Yep. Gotta have a car if you want to get girls.
Oh.
I mean, at the end of the day, no.
It's a nice thought. No, that was a nice thought at the time.
Yeah.
Never really
That's all
happened.
it takes.
I
Yeah.
don't want
Get a
no
car or a
scrub.
guitar.
Did you see how big I was before? Couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. No, but yeah, I needed a job. So I think this was about maybe, I want to say 6 months out of high school. I applied at a fast food chain with a big orange W.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
gotcha. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
yeah.
too.
So I applied there. Just learned all that I can. Worked the shifts that they told me to. Sooner or later, I ended up just wanting to get out early.
Yeah.
I wanted to get out early. I'm like, I don't
Just
think.
be done.
Yeah, I don't think cooking is for me. So
That's funny.
so so I tried a call center, but that place, no, call centers are definitely not my thing.
No.
What kind of call center was it? Like
It was more insurance claims. So
like health insurance?
no,
or-
like cars, automobiles.
Okay.
So like
Auto-
first
auto
notice of
insurance.
loss, like
Okay.
you get into an accident, you call up.
Right.
Yeah.
You were the guy.
Yeah, I was the guy.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
And honestly, just sitting, I think this is probably the case for each of us. And I know it's the case like for Amber and for Cricket and everything, but like the idea of having to sit in a cubicle.
I got hired over there right around Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. So they would transfer us into these phone calls for these certain insurance companies because it's a third party. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah, we'll take their phone calls for that insurance company and we'll file their claims. But it was just nothing but claims for Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. And it was like
you're dealing with like deeply emotional people.
yeah,
Oh,
deeply
yeah.
emotional people.
They're like, my whole house is gone. I have nothing left.
Exactly.
Can you
Exactly.
help me?
Man.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they gave us a little bit of leniency with that when it came to those type of claims.
Yeah.
And of course, you have like your car accident claims, and you have some horror stories when it comes to car
Oh,
accidents.
man.
Like you hear about it on the news and stuff like that, but
Oh,
to hear it
shit.
from like the person that was involved,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
How long did you do that?
I was there for about maybe a year and a half.
That's
Yeah.
you know what? That's I applaud you.
rough.
That's a good
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
stretch in a call center.
Yeah,
Like,
they were paying me good.
That kind of
Yeah.
call
They were
center.
paying me good. You would think that they
It
would
is.
like the bosses will want you to build like rapport with the customer,
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But they want you to stick to a script
Yeah.
and like A to Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the way down, and they have
don't
you
miss
going-
anything.
Exactly. Do not miss a damn thing, or we're gonna dock you.
That's such horseshit.
Right.
Yeah. So I was just tired of it.
And you
Yeah.
could tell the veterans who have been there a while, they're just like, fucking
Fuck it.
dock me, I don't care. Like, that was my call center job was one of, I think it was probably the first job. It was definitely not the last, but it was the first job that I left before they had a chance to fire me. And I remember they were doing like annual reviews. And they I sit down and, the lady's like, so we have some things that we want to discuss for your review. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to matter or anything, but I put in my 2 weeks notice 2 days ago. So she goes, oh, you're leaving? And I was like, yeah, I'm moving across the country, and she was like, oh,
Well,
do you want to go have a smoke? And I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. And we just went out and had a smoke. She was like, yeah, no, you're awful. We did. We went out and had a smoke, and she was very candid with me. She was like, no, it's really terrible. And I'm like, I know, I'm horrible at my job. The money's really good, and I don't care anymore.
You know what? I remember when I first started working there, they didn't have like a point or time system. Like you can spend as long as you want. They did want you to build a report. And then this other company kind of came over and said, oh, we're going to make it a call center, and changed everything to make it a call center. And it was totally different. And I sucked at it because I wanted to help people and make them understand how their insurance worked. But I used to start because I would get reprimanded, of course, for being on the phone. Like I was always like way down at the bottom of the list. Like I'm on the my average is 10 minutes when everybody else is like 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
but
you can't
Agatha's
help people at
granddaughter
3
is
minutes.
coming to visit, and she needs to know that if they decide to go, Agatha needs to know. Like,
But I started hanging up on people.
Oh,
because
that's a no-no.
Oh,
that's
man.
a big no-no.
I was just like, oh, okay, so I'm on the way bottom of the list, so I'll move my way up the list.
oh my gosh.
Because the calls just keep coming in, I'd hang up 1, 2, 3, take the next one. 1, 2, 3, take the next one. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
If they were
This
difficult
went
and
on
I didn't know
pretty
how to
much
help
all
them, I'd
day.
just throw them back in the queue. I'd be like, fuck if I know. I'd just throw them back in the
Really?
We transferred a manager
Have you ever-
back in the queue.
Have you ever tried throwing them back in the queue and then they get back to you?
Yes!
Yeah,
it did
that's-
happen once or
that's funny.
twice where I was
Oh,
like,
that sucks.
and I don't have the kind of name where I could be like, no, that was a different Aurelius.
No, you don't.
And then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Let's see if we can help you. And meanwhile, I'm over there trying to like flag down a supervisor. I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
So I was looking for another job. I was like trying other call centers. I'm like, yeah, maybe call centers are not for me. I would try janitor, just other odds and ends. But then our lovely
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He
Chef.
Yeah, chef.
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 Ah.
Yeah.
call him.
We'll call him. Let's just call him that. Yeah, let's just stick with that. No, but yeah, he gave me a position at the barbecue spot. Mm-hmm. So that's where I kind of blossomed into the cook that I am today. I didn't have that much of a background when it came to cooking, just mainly fast food and a call center.
Yeah.
Then
That's cool.
yeah. But hopefully.
How do you feel about it now?
Yeah.
Like, I know.
He doesn't love it.
Oh, I knew it was a loaded question. Well, and I only ask because, like, there's certain things that, I don't know, like, that you're doing and it's temporary because you're working towards something else, and I know you, and I know how, like, when you put your mind to something, you're like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get it done, but, like, how are you feeling about it? And, of course, everything's weird, of course, like, in Rona times, but...
Yeah.
Are you at least more content than you were at the W place, or?
Well, with the W place, that wasn't necessarily the best spot. So I kind of had some, yeah. Mm-hmm. But now, after the whole Rona thing happened, I was actually thinking about leaving the barbecue spot before the Rona thing happened.
Yeah.
But
And then they closed.
And then they closed.
Yeah.
Then I got moved over to this spot that I'm at now. But
I remember, because I remember we talked about that. We were like texting, and I remember being like, "I'm gonna be fucking pissed if they don't offer you a position."
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
As of right now, I mean, I'm pretty all right with it. Some things I still do not like about the kitchen, but I mean, I could do it.
What do you not like about the kitchen?
The fact that it's hot, like for the whole
Oh,
8
dude, that
hours.
is the worst.
I have swamp ass every day, and I got
Yeah.
Front of house, you get off work, and yeah, you're sweaty, and you probably have swamp ass too, but there's like a degree of sweaty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To where it's like you can still throw on a different shirt and then go out and have a night out.
Yeah.
And
Well-
not
me. I
too-
gotta go into like a desanitation shower.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Like just hose down.
Steam it out. The
Yeah.
thing is about being so hot in the kitchen, like, you guys can't concentrate. If the air conditioner's not working back there, and it's so unbelievably hot, like probably like 90 degrees back there, and you're working.
But see, here's the thing. That's coming from your point of view. From our side, we get like the 1,000-yard stare after a while. It's like you seen some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get so hot.
I've been through.
You get so hot. You get so like flustered. And your mind just zones out, and it's
No,
like
dude,
you're in a trance.
I totally get it.
As soon as like tickets start rolling in, then you start getting into the zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why
Yeah.
I've always, like, anybody that I trained, I would always try to make it a point, like, hoping that you'd have a busy shift, but I would always try to make it a point to be like, all right, tables are good. We don't have anybody coming in at the door. Like, refills are all right. Let's go ask the kitchen if they want something to drink.
Yes.
And I try to make it a habit because I'm like, these guys are locked, and women are locked in. They cannot go anywhere. They're not sending somebody out, And I always thought it was fucked up if they did have to, like, take the time to send somebody, like the dishwasher or somebody, like, just go get us some drinks. And I'm like, no, they shouldn't have to do that. Like, take care of your kitchen crew.
Yeah.
Because they're dying back there, and we're over here like, I'm a little parched. I'm gonna stop and sip my iced tea.
I'm gonna take a shot of my Coca-Cola.
Exactly. So refreshing. They're back
we
there
used
dying.
to make the cooks back in the day milkshakes.
Milkshakes.
Yeah.
That will get sticky on the mouth.
Oh God, yeah.
No, I mean at the end of the shift.
At the end of the shift.
Yeah,
End of
at
the
the end of the
shift, I can
shift, we would make milkshakes because it was so hot, and they got their asses kicked. We'd be like, "You guys deserve. What kind you want? Strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate?"
I like that place has a package license, and so if at the end of the day you could just buy them all a 6-pack. Just be like, you can't drink it here, but I'm gonna buy you all a 6-pack. Here's a lime.
I'm not gonna buy you all a 6-pack. I'll buy one 6-pack
Right,
that
exactly.
you all can share.
Yeah, you're buying around for the kitchen. Be like, you guys can have it in the parking lot, or you can go to the party house. You know where it's at. We're all gonna meet up there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Back in the day, Elijah, that place was freaking.
I heard
Listen
that.
to episode 13.
13.
Man,
I
we
heard-
used to do some shit.
I heard that place got gangster on certain nights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some shit that went down in the bathrooms. I mean, come on. I mean, it was a crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was.
Oh,
it was
no,
a
it was pretty
small.
fucking
It
crazy.
was pretty crazy.
I was like, no, I do declare. There was that
Everybody
certain
did.
manager who it's like, well, the customers are gone, the cameras are off, and we just light up.
Yeah.
We'd be smoking in there. It was, yeah.
It was
got
it
rowdy.
was
that very
rowdy
night.
place.
I got tequila spat into my eye.
No shit. By
Yeah.
who?
Well,
Kinky.
we had our kitchen manager he was the kitchen manager there for the longest time, and I was wearing a corset, and I think at that time I was like 24, 25. I filled out a corset really nicely. Anyway, and so I was sticking shots of tequila in between my tits, and people were taking shots out of them. We're like building teamwork. Come on, it's just it's good for morale.
Crazy place.
Anyway, and so they finally somehow got this guy who was very intimidating, to me. He was the classic. Everybody always likened him to the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. He looked like him,
yes.
and he sounded like him because
Gosh,
he had
I
the heavy
remembered that.
accent. And yeah, he was very, very similar to the soup Nazi. So he was kind of an intimidating guy, and he comes around the corner and they're like, we got another one for you. So I'm like pouring tequila and tits and, and I was like, oh shit. And it was such it was both an honor and also kind of like, oh damn. Anyway, but yeah, so he goes to take, and it was a big shot because, I pour like I'm drinking. And and he takes the shot from between my tits and kind of kicks it back. And just kind of goes, and he coughed because it went down the wrong, and it went into my eyeball. So I end up with tequila in my eyeball.
Oh, goodness.
I don't even, I honestly don't even remember leaving that night. I don't remember much about the rest of that night. But that was Fat Tuesday for several years in a row.
Yeah.
And then they were
Wow.
finally like, y'all need to calm the fuck down. And they stopped.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we'll have a band on Tuesdays, but we're not doing the parade through the restaurant. We're not doing where the bartenders can wear corsets and mini skirts. And, I was like, oh, we have no fun. Yeah.
I wasn't even around at that time.
It was
I'm sad.
super
You weren't.
fun.
My gosh.
Because there was a time, where, I was
Corsets
taking...
and tequila and I got
It was great, right? Can you imagine? Now it's such a family-friendly
I wasn't
place.
around then either. Damn. The fridge.
At the boop.
Yeah, at the boop. I wasn't around there. I mean, I was around.
Yeah.
Oh, but you weren't around there.
I didn't work there yet.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very different.
In
dynamic.
fact, Elijah, I know I don't want to repeat the podcast we did last time, but I found this sign. It's literally hanging up in the bar. Did you see it? Did you see it? Oh my gosh!
I do recall.
And so this sign basically says no one is allowed to take a a shot before you clock in.
Oh, I seen that.
Do you know why? Here's the funny thing.
When I first started there, that sign was hanging up, and I looked at it, and I was shocked. And then it said no clocking out, doing a shot, and clocking back in.
Yes, because people did it all the time.
Were going around the.
Oh, and it specifies no clocking out, running over to the place that the bar next door,
No
having
going
a
next
shot. It was
door.
like you can't go next door and drink either. Just you cannot drink before you. But here's the great thing about that. Like I don't know if they talked about it in the last episode, but it was actually a manager was the reason that sign went up. It was a manager he was a new manager. They hired him on as a manager. And he was the one, and they were like, you're supposed to set the stand, like, you can't. Anyway, so he did that. Oh, but this is the same manager who subsequently was fired, finally. It took a while, but he was finally fired because, and he was this tall, skinny white dude. Just, like, the kind of guy that you take one look at him, and you just want to give him, like, a swirly and, like, steal his lunch money, you know? Like, you just look at him. But he had all these, like, old English, like, gangster-looking tattoos. It was the weirdest thing. And I
don't remember him.
He wanted to be so gangster. And so he had a tattoo, like, on his stomach. But anyway, at some point or another, he would, like, show his tattoos. And then at some point, and this was after I had left, or I was, like, on vacation or something. It happened while I wasn't there. He showed his dick piercing. He got a Prince Albert. And he showed it to one of the underage girls.
Oh, no.
And it
that
was
is a big
just
no.
Yeah.
Really? Like, at what point did that ever seem like a good idea to you? Like, anyway.
It's like, you know what? She might appreciate this.
Yeah, like, what? You were like, I know exactly what I should, you know. And he was, I mean, he probably was in his, like, mid-20s, but, you know, you're in your 20s, too, and you still know, nope, if they're underage, I probably shouldn't get my dick out.
You know,
you
know, the restaurant biz. The restaurant biz. That's all I got to say about that.
Get to know each other now, man. Like,
Elijah, is there anything you really enjoy about being in the back of the house on the line cooking?
I mean, there is a certain level of camaraderie that I actually love. You know, just the rapport that you build with your coworkers after a while.
Yes.
You know, you start to see people on almost a daily basis, and you get to know each other. You talk, you joke around. I mean, even at some points during the rush, you're like flustered, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, fuck all these people.
Yeah.
Then you're like, hey, guess what? Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you start laughing about it. You start laughing about it. You know, like that kind of relationship with your coworkers. That's what I actually love about the kitchen.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you to work, like, front of house? Like, did you ever think about
I was going to ask him that, too. Woo-hoo. Same page.
I've actually thought about it in recent weeks. I kind of hint at it every now and then. I'm like, hey, yo, why don't you train me as a front of house and see what would happen? Maybe I could take your job.
You got the personality for it, for sure.
You know? So,
I
I've
think so,
about it.
too. I think so, too. And
see, Christy's told me the exact same thing, too. So I'm like, maybe I
You're
could.
like, okay, so let's make this happen.
you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, this is the thing. You can try it out. If it doesn't work, you always can go back.
Yeah,
you know, or do both.
But
you know?
I'm so much of a fool, I might fuck up. Like, look how many plates I could carry.
Oh,
like,
honey, you're gonna fuck up.
Oh, yeah, like, no.
I mean, that's just a
gonna
given. You're gonna fuck up.
And you're gonna drop plates.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, drinks on somebody.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
like,
my dumbass, I'm gonna probably like spill hot soup on like an old lady or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's for the land, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm Native American, by the way.
It's for the land.
For my people. Years of injustice. Some hot pea soup.
Yeah, it's funny. I know back of house people who have been doing it, like, you know, for ages and stuff, like, who are like, no, absolutely the fuck not. I would never do front of house, you know.
See, the thing is, I'm a people person. Like, I
Exactly.
mean, I would like to say that I'm a
You
people
really
person.
are.
I like to talk
I think
to
you
people.
are too.
You know what I mean? Like, I love talking to people. I like meeting new people.
And building
That's
a
really all you need to
relationship,
be a
yeah.
server in the front of the house.
Yeah.
I
Being
mean,
willing to.
I actually posted. See, you have to become a friend of ours on Shift Talkers. I posted. It was a wife swap, but it was front of the house switches back of the house. So all the front of the house. Yeah.
Y'all wouldn't laugh.
For
No,
like,
oh
for
my
like,
God, no.
for like one whole day.
That's
Yeah,
why I
no.
take care of you, because I'm like, I couldn't do it.
No, I'll admit
Absolutely
right now,
not.
hells to the no.
No, and see, another thing is like I've thought about going to the front of the house, but I mean, I've talked to like other people in the back, you know, if they would ever go. But see, I don't mean to talk down to like anybody, but most of the back of the house people look kind of gruntish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
you know? Big men make
They
food.
don't dress pretty for me.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Mac make food.
We did have one
Fire
back of house
bad.
person at the barbecue place who always made it a point to like, she'd show up like she was like getting ready to go to a Lady Gaga concert.
Oh, yeah.
And when she started working there, I remember.
Did she cut her shirt and tie it down at the bottom?
No, it's just
Was
like
that
she
her?
had like the fake
Oh.
eyelashes and
Oh.
the hair was always done, tons of makeup, you know, and like a dishwasher, you know, she was a dishwasher. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and at first I was like, you know, well, good for you. And then she turned out to be a right fucking. So I'm like, no, eat a bag of dicks. But also when she started, she would do like prep, and I served 3 different customers with Chelsea where they had
Hi,
blonde
Chelsea.
hair in their mashed potatoes, and then another one it was in their mac and cheese. They had hair in their food, and it had to be hers. There was like nobody else who was
Right.
like, you know. And so I'm like, there's a lot to be said for like, nah, man, if you're gonna work in a kitchen, it's not a runway. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
show up looking like you're about to sweat. Like, nobody.
No, but see,
Because you are.
yeah.
see, I feel that I'm naturally, you know, not the most how would I say.
Oh, you always talk down on yourself. I'll not have that on my watch.
no. See, I'm actually going a different route.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As opposed to everyone else in the back of the house, I'm more of the prettier one of
That's
the bunch.
right. That's
so
right.
you
You
know,
absolutely are.
Sweet precious
I would.
baby angel.
I am
It's-
100% agree with that.
it's hard being the eye candy of the kitchen.
Everybody wants to
It's
be.
a lot of
Everyone
weight on your shoulders, man.
everyone
Like,
wants
on your
Yeah.
Elijah to be their
muscular
boob.
Broad,
shoulders.
muscular shoulders. I've been working out. You know. Yeah,
No.
but so that's why I think I could probably kind of squeeze
Transition.
inch my way into the front, because I'm not necessarily a gorilla, but I'm not necessarily a model. So I'm like right in there, right in that medium.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, personality goes a long way.
Truly.
Oh, I've heard that.
It
before.
doesn't.
You're like, yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
especially in the server. If you're going to be a server bartender, I mean, that's all it takes.
You almost just you almost
know?
want to always be memorable, but in a good way.
Oh, so not a creepy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I
But
had some
in a good
very
way.
memorable servers where it was like, wow, you remember that creep? Yeah, and you don't want
Yeah,
to.
so many of them.
Yeah. Al was my favorite server. She worked at Denny's. I mean, I guess she had like stepped up from the truck stop that she had been working at before. She was terrible at her job. She'd always get your shit wrong. She was really brusque and just rude and everything that I want from a Denny's server at 1 a.m, which is every time that I went there was always, I knew her shift, you know, because I'd get off work.
What did you eat at 1 a.m. at Denny's? I want to know.
Oh,
Moons over
everything.
my hammy
Yeah, nice.
with a side of blue cheese to dip that shit into,
Oh,
and then
God.
always a
Sweet
dessert.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was on my way home. I lived right
Uh-huh.
over here, and so
Yeah.
no. But Al, she just like, and it got to where we were her regulars, and so she really liked us. It didn't make her any better at her job. She'd be like, "What's going on, guys? Come on in, I'll be right with you." And then she'd like sit down, and she would just vent about her night. And I'm over there like, I'm so fucking hungry. I've been on my feet for the past 8 hours, like, you know. But you have to let
just
Al
want
have.
some
And the
hammy.
fact that she was called Al, I just dug it. I'm like, I don't know what that was short for. I don't know
Yeah,
much about
I
Al.
like that name for a girl. That's kind of cute.
Al.
No.
Yeah,
Al.
she was great. She was exactly
Wasn't
what
that
you
that
want.
guy on what was that Married with Children? The guy that
yeah.
sucked
Al
his-
Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Yes, exactly. All right, so
Oh,
as
bring
a
it, bring it.
representative for back of house,
Okay.
what are some things that you feel that front of house, whether veterans who just don't know any better or newbies who are coming onto the scene, but what would you like front of house to know when approaching back of house? Yeah, because I know it's you're a different breed, man. It's,
I would say, if you fuck up during the rush, do not come back here with like any type of attitude, because do not come back, because I've had a couple people come back at me with some stupid shit.
Oh,
you know, we're in the middle of the shit, balls deep in tickets, and we're stressed the fuck out.
Balls deep.
It's not far, but no, but yeah, they'll come back with an attitude and slam stuff on the line, and
Can you imagine the audacity?
Right.
exactly,
They'd show up with the audacity.
exactly.
Right.
So I'm like, dude,
My go-to is to come running back and going, shit.
yeah.
And
I mean,
turn
don't
the
get me
corner.
wrong. We appreciate, you know, the humility in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I fucked
Yeah.
up. You know, would you mind?
Yeah.
If you have like your kitchen boo or something like that,
Yeah.
you know, is all right with it, we'll make it for you. But if you come back and you're like, oh, y'all fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, don't
Oh man, hell
dare you.
no.
get out of
No.
my face. Get out
And
of my
even
face.
there's a lot of servers too, and I don't like to think that there's a lot of servers that do that, but there probably are that blame the kitchen
I
for
hate
their
that.
fuck ups. And that is so wrong. And we talked about this before, and Cricket was like, I'm like, if you just be honest as a server and be like, I forgot to put in your order. Here's some chips and salsa.
Yeah.
What else can I do for you? I'm so sorry. The kitchen is on it. And like, go back to the kitchen and be like, I'm so sorry, you guys. Please, on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But I'm going to admit to my
It's just so
screw up.
unprofessional.
Yeah.
It
You
is.
know, to
And, you
Well,
know,
personally too. Like I'm a
sometimes
horrible liar. We've talked about this. I'm a horrible liar. I can't lie.
Sometimes even we'll just make you wait for it. I mean, I'm just gonna. put
Well,
it
no,
out there.
that's
We're gonna
the
make you wait
thing.
for
fuck
it.
you, that's why.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're back there saying you guys fucked up, why? What motivates you to get that food out any faster?
No.
If somebody's back there, you know, not using even common sense manners. Thank you. Can I please have, you know, this, and that? Hey guys, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Can I get this done real fast? You know?
Yeah. I mean, we're very primal creatures back there. Like, don't feed the animals kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So,
But give them drinks.
yeah.
Definitely give them
And
drinks.
milkshakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we like you, then we'll more likely than not probably do it. But if anything, if we're like in the shit, you know, 15 tickets deep, 10 minutes a piece, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna make you wait for it, for the most part.
Yeah. Well, and
I mean,
that's,
if it's,
that's
I
where
mean, if it's something simple, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, say like a burger or something like that. You know, screw it, get it out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and most of the time, like if you're cool with your customer and you know, build that trust with them, then whatever you fuck up, most of the time, it's backfired a couple of times. You're like, I fucked up. And be like, you should be fired.
Oh, God.
That was one of
wow.
Cricket's stories that
yeah.
happened to her. She's
I
like,
would
yeah, I was totally
love to have
honest.
someone tell me that you should be fired. You should be.
I'd be
prettier.
like, you know what? You're absolutely right. But here I am.
What else? Can I get you?
Do you remember Taco Tuesdays before they made the so $2 tacos, and they were big size tacos? We're not talking food truck tacos; they're full size,
And they were delicious.
Carne adobada, like I mean, they were
brisket.
brisket,
Delicious.
like
Yeah,
real meat, good giant portions, and they were only $2. $2 tacos on Tuesdays were the worst fucking shifts.
I got hired.
oh,
I mean, my first
God.
shift was on a Taco Tuesday.
Oh no! Hey,
Yeah.
nothing
Was
like
it when
throwing
they
you
still
right in
did
there.
modifications?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that was the thing. Some of the
Oh.
worst shifts that I ever worked at that particular restaurant consistently were when
Taco
they
Tuesday
used to allow people to make modifications, and you're paying $2 for this fucking taco. And they're like, but could I, instead of the cheese on there, could I just have it, you know, on the side? And then on the second one that I get, I don't want the slaw, but if you could put the slaw on the, and they were all these
This
fun.
bitch.
We had 2-hour ticket times.
Oh, yeah.
And it took them for fucking ever. And this is where, like, part of the reason that I'm no longer there, because I used to openly criticize them about shit like this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we maybe shouldn't allow that. Anyway,
Right,
but
right.
like,
Yeah, no, Taco Tuesday was always a shit show before they like discontinued the modifications and
oh
all
God,
that.
yeah.
Like $2 tacos, big fucking tacos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And open modifications. It was definitely a shit show.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
We're running back and forth, and we have to be always stocked up, and every single flat top, because we had to like toast them up on the flat top.
Oh
Right,
my gosh.
exactly.
Yeah, so they're full
Yeah.
of just taco shows, and plus, you know, Taco Tuesday doesn't necessarily just mean it's only tacos.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Alright.
You got other stuff on the board. So you have to manage like burgers and like, all these other
All that
plates.
space. You only have
Yeah.
so much space, you know?
I'm getting
Yeah.
all stressed
Like,
out
at the end of the
like,
day-
thinking about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't
But see,
wait.
at the end of at some point or another, we kind of hit a groove. We
Sure.
kind of hit a groove.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
you
know,
hope.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the groove doesn't happen, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I first started there, Taco Tuesday was a shit show, but towards the end, when they were still, you know, just hanging on by a thread, and we
Yeah.
were still doing Taco Tuesday.
After they
like,
had stopped the modifications,
Yeah.
because that was huge. That made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I
like
could see
doing
that.
trick shots with tortillas, like flipping them with a spatula, catch them in the other hand.
Yeah.
You know, lining
It was
them
an
up.
open kitchen, I should add, so everybody
Yeah.
could see this. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like a ghetto hibachi. Like that's yeah. That's how we ran it back there. It was
A
just-
ghetto hibachi.
Oh, I
sounds
put on
good.
a show for people that was walking down that ramp.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes.
If I could, I would be jumping on the tables and strip it down to my dignity. You know what I mean?
Down to my dignity. What about some of the characters you worked with there? Like, I'm mostly thinking of that one person. And this is where I love you so much. And I was so glad you were there for it. Because I was like, hey, I need to run these ribs out. But these mashed potatoes are dead. And you could see that, like, skin.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I was like, I need to run this out. I just swap out these mashed potatoes and I got them. Let me take out this. Because it was a whole table. It was like a 6-top. All waiting for their food. I just needed fresh mashed potatoes because they looked dead. And he was so upset about me asking him to switch out the mashed potatoes. You remember what he did?
I can't.
He picked up
Oh,
the
he
mashed
picked up the
potatoes.
mashed potatoes, threw them against the wall.
Threw them against the wall.
What? You
And then like walked into the back. And this one looks at me and goes, I'm not cleaning that. But he scooped me some mashed potatoes, and that's why he's my kitchen boo, because he scooped me some fresh mashed potatoes, stuck them on the, and I ran the food. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that was about. I ran the food.
Wow.
But like,
Yeah.
what about some of the people you worked with?
Oh, there's been,
Watched
good
too
and
much
bad.
Chef Ramsay.
Right?
yeah, no, there have definitely been some characters that have come in and out of that barbecue spot, and also like the ones that I work
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, the ones that I work with now, the ones that I used to work with in the fast food place, but my most memorable ones would have to be at that barbecue spot. The one that she's talking about in particular, he will fly off the lid almost every night.
It was
Really?
crazy.
It was
Was he on drugs?
probably.
I mean,
Maybe.
he's in the kitchen, so
Yeah, of course.
Colleen is the service industry.
I know.
All right, like
Long
That's what my mind went
hours.
to first.
Yeah. I mean, we run off of ketamine and Diet Coke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Red Bull.
well, and that's why he eventually ended up leaving. Like there was like a whole chest bumping incident
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
like,
no. That's one of the characters that we should
Yeah.
talk about.
Tell us.
Yeah, no, there was this little. I don't want to say his name, but he was like a pretty Guido, but he was kind of short.
yeah,
Guido,
Yeah.
like Italian?
Yeah,
Like me?
Yeah.
Italiano. You know what I mean?
loud,
loud.
Fucking loud, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I can relate.
Well, no, with that chest bumping incident, the guy that threw the mashed potatoes, we got done with the rush, and there was like maybe 1-2 burgers on the board, and he was kind of mentoring me, so he would like give me little little talks here and there, like show me a couple things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
He trusted this pretty boy Guido with those 2 burgers, right?
love
He was
that
all
name.
like, he's like, hey, let's go out for a smoke. I'm like, all right, we'll go out for a smoke.
Yeah.
We're shooting the shit. Yeah, we go back in, and those burgers are still on the board. He's still working them. Coming to find out, he messed them up. And then he had some other orders come in, too.
All right.
Yeah, and there was a couple other people on the line, but those 2 just started like talking shit to each other, and then pretty much,
It took so little. That was
get
the
the
thing
fuck
about
out my
him.
kitchen.
It took
Get
so
the fuck
little.
out my kitchen. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like straight up cursing at him in his face. Then they start shoving each other. We get in between them. I get
On an open line again, and all this was on an open line.
Yeah.
my
Because
gosh.
he would
Open
get
kitchen.
loud about like when he
Yeah.
would have these little meltdowns. Like when he threw the mashed potatoes, I'm like, customers saw that.
yeah.
I'd have gotten a kick out of it if I was a customer. I'd be like, did that motherfucker just
Me
look like
too.
he
I
straight
know.
up threw mashed
I'm like, is anybody filming this?
right?
That's
Like-
what I would be like. Good, where's my phone?
But he would fly off the handle.
Yeah.
Like so
Huh.
quickly.
It was pretty cool though. Like like you see like wow.
Yeah, I
seen
wish
this
I
on
could do
TV.
that.
Sure, the environment is stressful, but you do not want to fly off the handle.
All right.
You want to try and avoid that in most
Handle
cases.
your shit.
yeah.
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 Well, it's the same with servers. I mean, people can push you to the point where you're just like, I remember one time, I've probably talked about it before, but this dude was just like ordering me around like he was a soldier, like he was a captain and whatever.
God.
And he was like, go get me this. And he was just real whatever. And I ended up standing to attention. Yes, sir. And I did the whole hand to head, everything, salute. And, I got in trouble for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding? Oh, see,
It wasn't at the place. It wasn't at the place. This was at the Olive Garden I worked at years ago. I'll say it. The OG.
The OG.
OG.
Yeah, it was a while back.
No,
so
but yeah,
don't
he'll
care.
fly off the handle real easy. There was another one most recently before that barbecue spot shut down. A chef was telling us about him. He had like this extensive background, all this other stuff. I'm like, wow, he seems way too overqualified for this position. He used to work on like cruise ships and all that. He used to be like kitchen manager, chef. He has a cordon bleu and all that.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, he seems way too overqualified.
Yeah.
But then when he walks in, he looks like this old, drugged up looking man. He looks like a papal from 1472. You know what I mean? He has that nice 8-inch part. I'm like, wow, this guy's still kicking him here. Okay.
God.
So he walks in, we talk to him, we get to know him a bit. We're like, all right, he seems pretty cool. He's kind of green around the edges at first, but that's to be expected when
It's a new place.
When it's a new place, you're green around the edges,
Right.
you're learning. So, he starts to pick up speed and all that. Our whole thing was we want you to try and move around. Don't just be stuck in one spot.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he'll just be stuck on that one spot, and it will frustrate the shit out of us.
Yeah.
So we'll get frustrated with him and all that, but it all came to a point where we kind of dropped it after a while because we found out that this man wore how would I say, ladies' undergarments.
Oh, wow. How did you find that out?
I seen him. No, I'm kidding.
I seen it. No, yeah, just full on.
Oh, that's magnificent. I love it.
Olive green.
Hey, we talked about sometimes you just want to feel pretty at work.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
if that's what it takes to
No,
make you feel
seriously, I
pretty.
need to know how you found that out.
No, but he was too green around the edges. We barely even knew the guy, so we're like, yeah, just got to take the L on this one. We'll just leave it alone.
I want to ask a question real quick. Why do you guys think that, chefs have a reputation of being kind of dicky, right? Being kind of mean or whatever.
Whether it's warranted or not.
Right, whether it's warranted or not. I guess I can give it a Goog and see where that reputation comes from, but I'm interested in your thoughts about it.
Well, see, when it comes to chefs, the longer I've been in this business, the more I look into the area that I'm in.
Right.
So, you research all this other stuff, regarding chefs and, different chefs around the world. And, of course, you check out, videos say, Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah, the classic
Right.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, most chefs, if they're in a position to call themselves a chef, it gets to their head, I would like to say. And most chefs like to think that food is art. So they get very arrogant like an artist. You know what I mean? If something goes wrong, then they're of course going to get frustrated about it.
Right.
Say if an artist is trying to paint say a wall or something like that, and the wall comes out a little crooked.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what I mean? Just scrap the whole
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So-
Little hissy fit
Yeah.
ensues. Yeah.
So yeah, chefs are exactly the same way. They like to
Yeah.
think themselves as artists, and if something fucks up, then they're gonna get a little angry, a little upset, a little.
They're like directors. Like
Yeah.
I've worked with directors
That
who were
makes
like that
sense,
before,
yeah.
where you want to be like, motherfucker, it's ribs. Like it
Yeah.
is ribs.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you a little bit of perspective right here, sir. It's ribs. Just plate it and let me go.
Yeah, but chefs in general are cocky. Very
Yeah.
cocky.
Yes.
They like to think that their food is as good as the food that was on the table at the Last Supper.
Right.
So
Right.
they just
And it's a huge competition.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Lot of-
there's so much competition out there.
a lot of
being a
butting
chef.
of heads and
Yeah.
Because it's easy. I feel like it's relatively easy to get into. Because shit. Towards the end of that place, they would hire anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
All you need is a warm body at the end of the day
yeah.
to get into the kitchen, but to to run a kitchen, I feel like just takes so much more, and you have to be like, it's just like a commander with their troops and stuff, where it's like, I'm gonna tell you something and I expect you to do it now.
Yes.
Fucking do it. No questioning.
That's where the whole yes chef thing comes
Yeah,
in, because
exactly.
they want you to
Yes, chef.
they want to hear that you heard them.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you get into a habit of saying yes chef, yes chef, yes chef.
Heard. Yeah.
Heard. Sometimes you just say it out of habit and you don't do it and you get yelled at for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that's kind of why chefs are like how they are. I mean,
Yeah, it makes sense.
cocky,
And
think their food is good as God. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't agree
And
with
they want-
that.
they
There's
want
a lot
to-
of good food out there.
They want
but-
to try and run the line like she said, like a commander.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything has to be in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Like our whole point is to try and get food out as quick as possible to get us
Right.
through the rush.
Right.
So
I can get I love to expo. I love to be that expediter. It's because I take on a whole other personality. Like all of a sudden, I'm in control.
I need my sides here.
Yeah,
hot fries
drop
here.
me
No,
some wheat,
yeah.
man. Pour me a syrup.
Taste of power, Colleen. Is that what it is?
It
Taste
is.
of
It's
power.
like,
Yeah.
get out of my way. I'm going to set up the trays and you just circle around and run them out. Yeah, I can get a little out of control, actually. So I don't do that position anymore because I'm just
Having a
like, calm
solid
the fuck down,
expo-
Colleen.
I mean, I imagine for you guys, like having a solid expo when you're on the other side of it, when you're the person, whose
Yeah.
food they're running is huge.
Right, right.
It's very
Sure.
big because of course when things start to back up if things don't get moving.
Right.
Right.
So
You got to put plates on top of each other, and that's
yeah,
horrible.
that's definitely horrible.
Yeah.
Once we get into that groove where everything is steadily moving out of the window, we pump it out, you guys take it out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we see it. Like a really good expo is like good
Yeah.
as gold.
They're
They
getting
keep
that
you-
shit
they
out
keep
of the
you going.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one manager one night, and I'm telling you, man, you know how small, the line is and stuff, but the window was packed. Plates on top
yeah.
of plates.
that's
It was just like
crazy.
shit. And the one manager, she's a manager. She hasn't worked there for many years, but she was a manager, and she comes in and she's like, "Go back to school, everybody. This is why you go back to school, everybody." And she was kind of she was. I mean, she was like joking around.
Does she know how to?
But it was a
carry
crazy.
Because there was somebody that worked there after I left, but like probably either before you started there or around. There may have been overlap, is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty
but
sure
she
it was
a
overlap.
manager, and she could not. She's like, "I don't carry trays." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" She was like, "No, I've never carried trays. I don't even know
It
how."
may be the same one that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
I was like, "Fucking,
because
you can't
she,
do my
she
job."
went
I
back
was
in the
pissed.
kitchen. Yeah, she went back in the kitchen and just looked at the line and was like, "Go back to school, everybody." And I'm telling you, we were fucking frustrated already. I'm like,
Right, and this bitch
is that
comes,
the appropriate thing to say right now as a manager? Really?
especially when you consider
But
that
I
half
always
the people who
remember
work
that.
there actively in school too. It's like,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
fuck
Yeah,
out of my face.
yeah. I was probably offended because I wasn't. But, I don't want to go back to school.
I would
Fuck
love
that.
it if someone told me that. I would just love it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I would have some type of snide comeback.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's one of those. That's the kind of thing where it's like, you know what? I'm busy as shit, but we're gonna make the time right now. Okay, come in, let's talk. Let's just go
Let's have a
outside.
little
We're gonna
chat.
talk. Yeah.
You
vamos
know,
afuera.
the guy who you were talking about earlier, the soup Nazi, man, him and I got into it one day after
He was a Nazi. Like
he was standing there on the expo line, right? But he was literally, it was like a crazy busy Sunday morning. He's just standing there in the fucking way.
Nice.
And so finally I asked him, "What are you doing? Why are you standing here?" You know, and
maybe
I
get the fuck out of the way. Maybe that.
yeah, I mean, I think that I asked in a way that was just like, "I'm curious why you're standing here."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm making sure the food goes out hot." Are you?
Sure.
Cool. So you can drop some wheat and make us some syrup? Cool.
Right.
And he literally, you guys, lost his shit and started screaming at me, red face.
Are you serious?
Soup, no, red face, like screaming at me, and I was just like,
Oh, I wish a motherfucker would.
I screamed back a little bit, and I'm like, dude, if you, I don't even know what I said. It was years ago.
But
This
you
happened,
clap back, yeah. You didn't. Just
Hell
take
yeah,
it.
because I was like, You fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of my way if you're not going to drop toast and make syrup. God damn it. Those are those little things. Set up my fucking tray. Don't just
I
stand
know
there and
exactly
do
where he was
nothing.
standing. I know exactly where he was standing because he did that.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a
And
big
it
old
was
thing.
just
I
like,
got pulled in the
seriously,
office, and I was all like,
Oh, I love it when you get pulled in the office
yeah,
for shit like that.
yeah. And you know, he's like, I got the whole restaurant to think about, and
It's like when I got
it
written
was
up on
just
my day
awful.
off. That's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh goodness gracious!
It's like one of those, you're stealing boxes. What the hell you gonna do with boxes? Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you're
Stealing boxes. You're stealing boxes that have grease spots on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You, how dare you?
You got in trouble on your day off. Like, really?
I did.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I like getting in trouble
got
at work. I mean,
Friday.
I don't like getting in trouble at work, but I like getting in trouble at work. It's
Well, they
fun.
do
It's fun.
create good stories.
Yeah, it's memorable.
And it's
Memorable
just,
for sure.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Elijah? Let's get a verdict out here. Are you really considering thinking about going to FOH, front of house?
Well, I mean,
First part of your interview. Shift Talkers podcast. No.
I mean, I would like to go to the front of the house, but see, it's a totally different world. So I'm a little hesitant, little back office,
Yeah.
sort of, in a way.
Well, dealing with the general public can be very mentally straining. Yeah.
I mean, I've dealt with people like face to face before because I used to work at the fast food spot. So
Right.
I wasn't only a cook; I was taking orders.
You did
talking to
everything,
people.
probably, huh?
Yeah, I was working graveyard at the time, and there's only like maybe 3 people.
Oh,
you
right.
So we
you
all
had to
circled.
know
We
how
had to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've dealt with people before. I'm got a good customer service voice. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I could.
And your jokes are just.
That's the
I
thing.
mean,
Hit him with the dad jokes.
it's
and
that
you walk away.
personality
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna make you those bucks, bro.
Oh,
You're gonna.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we think, and we've all been servers for more than 20 years. So.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely take your word for it. But yeah, I mean, I would really consider doing front of the house. But as of right now, I don't think that they have the manpower in the back to let me.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Not at the moment.
Definitely not at
Well,
the moment.
it's a
a
bug
fine
in your.
line.
It's a little thought in your head that's there. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun,
Talking
Elijah.
shift.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I'm gonna send you an invite to our Shift Talkers podcast Facebook page. We're also on YouTube. We are on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts.
ShiftTalkersPodcast.com.
Sing it, Arelis.
Shift Talkers.
Podcast.
You gotta hit the high note.
I am no
You
cricket.
just
I am
hit
no
the-
cricket.
Yeah, falsettos
Cricket-
aren't really your thing. So.
Cricket, we miss you. Hey, next week we are going to do a podcast with Steph Waldo. Arelis, are you down?
Ooh, yes.
All right, it's going to be the
She
four of
was
us, me, you,
there.
Cricket, and Steph.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that same Fat Tuesday because she was there for that too.
Oh,
but-
sweet.
yeah,
it's
it's a good night.
it's a great story to talk about. So,
I'm
well,
gonna be
I
there
don't
for
know. I
corsets.
just see
What
the
hell?
picture.
We'll wear corsets next week. If you want to be our guest again, we'll. Like,
We
we'll-
should. And we should take pictures and do video. Anyways.
Can I wear a corset?
Anyways,
Yes, please.
I wanna wear a corset.
anyways, you guys, thank you so much for listening and tuning into the Shift Talkers podcast. We are so grateful. I want to give a shout out to my son Colin real quick because he just got a job at Sonic today.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
dabbling in the
he's going to go to
industry.
orientation next week. We'll see how it goes.
I
He
have a new
he's
pair of
either
roller
love or
skates. I
going to
can
hate it.
teach him.
Oh, you know, and they asked him. Yeah. I've got rollerblades, but he's my baby, so he's. Anyways, I love you, calls. Good job, babe. We'll talk to you all guys soon. Oh, that sounded horrible.